Hi, everyone. I will go ahead and get started. Welcome to the 4th day. Thank you all for being here today. Super excited to have you. We will be talking about research today and some research tools that we can use within all sorts of different industries. So really, really excited to be here. Oh, there we go. Hey, Sam.
There we go. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The party is officially started. Thanks, everybody. I was talking my head off. Y'all wasn't hearing nothing. Where y'all at? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to all my folks. What city you calling from? I saw Puerto Rico. Where we at, everybody? There we go. We're good now, officially. And I saw a couple people asking about the getting access to a cool. So we'll have some pretty nice updates for everybody today. I'll be sharing some things there. There we go. Shout out to Fort Lauderdale, Firestone,
Switzerland.
Hey.
I used to live in Switzerland. That's awesome.
Nice. Tallahassee, Florida. Shout out. Austria. Okay.
Wow.
Up late. I appreciate you. Up late. India. Up super late. Thank you.
No kidding.
Italy.
Grand Rapids. Represent Midwest. Let's go.
There we go. Start D. Davis from Los Angeles. I see you. That's my area. Y'all like the orange background? I literally just hopped off a plane. So like I was in a mad rush. I'm in San Francisco now. So like in a mad rush to get to the hotel to come here. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. So appreciate everybody's getting here on time, early, some of y'all. Yeah, Redlands, California. Shout out to Tony. Hey, well, I know there's so many. We need the shirts, right? So maybe we'll bring back the for something special tomorrow, finish off last day. But I know so many people joined. Y'all want us to get to the content faster. So we will do that for you today. So we're going to walk through just a couple quick things. You know, Larissa's going to share the slides like she usually does. But then we're going to jump right into it. So we got some cool assignments. I think we had over 500 more submissions yesterday alone. So crazy, right? But with that said, we're going to get right to it. Shout out to everybody. Keep letting us know in the chat where you're from. Larissa, going to get us rolling. And I'll talk a little bit about the Academy afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for gotta have the I appreciate all your senses of humor. Thank you guys. You're never gonna let me live that one down. I appreciate it. All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. Super excited. Like Sam was just saying, all the submissions have been outstanding, and I've gotten a lot of notes from people, and I will address all of them and write you back. I'm a little overwhelmed, but thank you so much for reaching out. Hopefully I can help, and I will make sure that I get to everyone's notes that I got the last several days. So I will get to those. So thank you so much. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start sharing my slides, and we're going to showcase some of the things that you created from yesterday. And then, oh my gosh, I gotta not look at the chat. And we'll go ahead and let me share my screen, and we will get started. All right. All right. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. All right, so day 4 of 5, we are almost there. So we've done image, we've done video, we've done audio. Today we're going to talk about research, and then tomorrow we'll have human-centered AI, and Sam's going to jump in and show us vibe coding. So very exciting.
Woo.
Thank you all for hanging in there. Day 4,
yeah.
Troopers. This is great.
What was your favorite day? Let us know in the comments so far. What was your favorite day? Was it image? Was it video? Or was it sound? Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Awesome. Great. All right. Once again, for those of you that are just tuning in, I'm Larissa. I'm a Gen AI instructor at CU Boulder and a PhD student working in several labs there. And then also we have Sam. If you want to jump in real quick and introduce yourself.
Woo! Oh yeah, I think y'all might know me by now. I'm gonna keep this short. I know y'all want the content, so we're gonna go fast. For all those that are new here, we're so happy to have you joining the course on the second to last day. It's special stuff. So thanks for joining us. If you're new, we have a phenomenal team behind the scenes. So shout out to Paola, Nagar, Maria, Josna, not on the screen, but definitely behind the scenes working tons of magic. Andrew and Harold, and I can't forget Melina, and then the whole greatness of 𝐤𝐞𝐬 coming and bringing in the free credit. So shout out to everybody behind the scenes. Don't forget Tom. You know, Colorado's always showing out. But back to you, Larissa.
All right. Thanks so much. Okay, we'll get rolling. So these are some of the submissions that we received. So the first one is Beetle Banquet. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this one.
Japanese beetles, they came today to eat my roses anyway. They sparkle green in morning light, devouring petals black as night. Oh, death comes quick, stick by stick. Beetle banquet in my yard, a feast so wrong, so hard. Rose gone petals on the ground, is there beauty to be found?
That's great. Thank you so much. That was by GK. Well done. That was catchy. I like that. Well done. All right. The next one, Cut the Grass beat, Mike Wisman.
Okay, that's setting the tone, isn't it?
Like a neon glow under the sun where the green lights grow. Pushing forward steady, the rhythm flows, chopping time with every row. Cut the grass beat, feel the ground beneath your feet. Cut the grass beat, moving fast, endless heat. Cut the grass beat, this groove don't skip, it's on repeat. Engine hum.
That is awesome. Thanks, Mike. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine cutting the grass with this? It would actually be more fun for me. So well done.
That gives me like total Night of the Roxbury. Shout out to the old school folks that know that movie, Night of the Roxbury. I was about to start getting my head bop going, but y'all know, for all the real ones, y'all know.
That's great. Well done. All right, next we have Desta Nsurmu, and I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. Hopefully I got that correct. This is the text-to-voice project.
Embarking on new adventures can be both thrilling and daunting. And today marks the beginning of an exciting journey with my first project on 𝐤𝐞𝐬. The opportunity to explore this innovative platform fills me with gratitude and enthusiasm. I am ready to embrace the learning curve and transform challenges into stepping stones. Each step forward is a testimony to progress and growth. As I delve deeper, I am reminded that every expert was once a beginner, and every great achievement begins with a single decision to try. Thank you for this chance to expand my horizons and discover the boundless potential within 𝐤𝐞𝐬. Let's take this leap of faith, trust in the process, and create something remarkable together.
Amazing. Thank you, Desta. Snaps.
Yes, share the gratitude. And for those that asked, the first two, I believe, were Sono, I believe. And then that one there was obviously 𝐤𝐞𝐬. And then the next one's going to be 𝐤𝐞𝐬. So people use, I think those are the tools being used so far.
Great. This is Defi Virgino, I believe. My voice AI from 𝐤𝐞𝐬.
Hello, I'm your personalized AI voice. Nice to meet you. I hope my voice brings your content to life.
That's great. Thank you, Defi. All right. And Morning Brew by Mary Williams.
For the first two was Suno. Suno for the first two, because everyone wants to know. And this last one,
The whisper soft and low, a hazy glow, the world starts slow. Steam curls up, a tender dance in this porcelain cup. My heart finds its dance. Oh, my morning brew, my sweet rendezvous, dark and deep, it pulls me through. A sip of calm, a sip of new. My day begins with you, my morning brew. Your clock may tick, the world may spin, but here's where all my thoughts begin. A bitter kiss, a velvet sigh, a swirl of dreams in a caffeine sky. Oh, my morning brew, my sweet rendezvous, dark and deep, it pulls me through. A sip of calm, a sip of new. My day begins with you, my morning brew.
Well done, Mary. I could listen to that every single morning. That is fantastic. You guys crushed it. That was great. Thank you so much for your submissions. That was really, really wonderful. I really appreciate it. All right.
Yeah.
So do we want to jump into this, or do you want me to jump into it?
I'll give it a little bit. Let me go and walk through the next few here. I move as fast. Again, I totally understand. We have so many phenomenal people here. It's impossible to cover everything in depth and answer everyone's questions while making progress. So bear with us. We won't be able to cover everything and show the Academy every time. But just to remind everybody, everything can be found in the Academy. I know the team will be pasting the link in the chat so you can get there. We've done a lot of changes from your feedback over the last few days. We've clarified some things, simplified others. It should be really easy now to get to anything. So if you're looking for stuff, I'll show you on the next screen, but everything is in the Course Hub section of the course page. So you'll see it right when you go to the screen. You literally can't miss it. Right under the picture, you'll see a section called Course Hub. And in that Course Hub, you'll see all the details for every day. And then you'll see a new section underneath that we've been sharing every week, every day, that has the resources, the submission links, and as well as any recordings. So as far as like getting to where you need to go, this is the one spot to be. A lot of stuff is hosted in Google Drive. So if you're, again, trying to get access to it, you should be able to access it anyway because it's made visible by anybody. But if you're trying to like request access to it, that's probably where you're probably not getting any progress. But again, you shouldn't need any issue. You shouldn't need any access. Everything is made available to everybody. If you're having issues, just let us know. Reach out to Paolo or someone on the team. But the key thing is like you can find everything in the Academy. Next slide. And so just so you can see what that looks like, this is the Course Hub. You're able to like click on any one of those days and it'll expand out. And you can see all the details there. There we go. And then as far as like one of the craziest, coolest things, go back. We had so many of you all take advantage of the cool credits. It was like super cool to see so many of you all chime in. One of the other things we did ask that was really interesting was, would you all be interested to come back again starting next week for smaller workshops where we would work in smaller groups to take some of the things we did from the first 3 days to do what's called vibe design, which is using these AI tools just to have some fun while generating AI projects. So that vibe design was some of the sessions we had. And then similarly, the same idea goes for coding. We are in a world now where every one of you could become a vibe coder. Like you don't have to be technical in any slightest with some of the things that are coming online with some of the new AI coding tools. So we'll cover that Friday in depth. We'll go a little bit there, but we're going to be doing these sessions for the next 2 months. So I thank everybody that booked out. I have a secret update for everybody. So these sessions are officially booked. If you signed up for one of these, what's going to happen is we're going to send an email out to everybody and then invite you to the session that you signed up for. And if you're interested in coming, you can just show up to that. We'll introduce concepts of whether it's vibe design or vibe coding, and then essentially do some of it live on the call. And you'll have a project at the end where you'll get a chance to actually do that yourself. We might have some free tools here and there. You never know what's coming. But I tell you this, 𝐆𝐞𝐧𝐀𝐈 was blown away with what you all did. I'm so proud of every one of you. Take advantages of the tools and platforms we share. And you all did that. And so I have a secret update. Tomorrow, you're going to have to come in. So if you're here now, you have to come back tomorrow. We'll be giving away free credits again to 𝐆𝐞𝐧𝐀𝐈. So y'all heard it here. You got to come back tomorrow. We'll be giving free credits. Now, the way these free credits work, you got to come get them fast because, again, the way they work is we'll post them during the call. And then for probably an hour and a half or so after the call, we'll keep it up. But then usually we'll be turning off the form. And so, again, it's just due to like the volume. It's so hard for the company to turn everybody's accounts on. And then if it's constantly coming in, it's hard to monitor. It's just so hard to do. So bear with us. But ultimately, if you come back tomorrow, we'll be giving away more credits for 𝐆𝐞𝐧𝐀𝐈. And you'll be able to get some other surprises as well. So don't miss tomorrow by any means. If you want free stuff, if you want goods and hookups. But tomorrow is just the beginning of what's next for us. We will have sessions 2 days a week for the rest of the next 2 months. And you'll be able to join those in smaller groups and really get some hands-on experience with vibe design and vibe coding. With that said, everybody, y'all ready? How y'all feel about that? Y'all excited? Y'all like that? Y'all gonna be here tomorrow early, ready to go? Yes, Tito, we can sign up tomorrow. Tomorrow, come early. We'll be sure to get you access. And if you weren't able to get access, come tomorrow. You will get access. We're gonna be giving it out. So make sure you're here tomorrow. Friday is the day. I'm glad everybody's enjoying the session so far. I'm so excited for these workshops. We are gonna become a true machine out here when all of us start to really get hands-on these tools together. So we're booked out through the end of October, but we'll give more opportunities to book up again going into the top of the end of the year, because we'll post that form again tomorrow. So I've spoken way too much. Larissa, let's bring the people what they want. Let's give them some of the content. While she's queuing that up, y'all ready for that? How y'all feel about everything we got going? Hey, I'm gonna answer some of the questions in the comments while Larissa's getting her. She's having a little internet issues. So let me know some of the questions in the comments. There we go.
There we go. Sorry, guys, I'm back. I'm not sure what was happening there.
Okay, I'm gonna answer just one question then. Somebody asked. Here we go. When will the credits or when will the workshops be accessible all? So the workshops will be accessible to anybody. Right now, if you've signed up for the 𝐆𝐞𝐧𝐀𝐈 and you put in your date, you'll get an email from us going into Monday. The first session is Tuesday, and it'll be every Tuesday and Thursday from now forward. Some people have asked for some 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time so they can get after work. So we're working through it, but what you can expect is we'll have all the details tomorrow. We'll be giving away free credits again tomorrow. And then as far as when they'll take place, they'll be every Tuesday and Thursday going forward. Small forum. We're either vibe designing or vibe coding, but we're going to be doing it all together.
All right.
That's it, Larissa.
Woo. Let's go. Okay. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Sam. That was great. So we are going to jump into some research tools. And as a PhD student, I'm continuously researching all the time. And so a lot of these tools are some of my favorites. And I'm going to go ahead and let me share my screen with y'all, and we will get going.
Okay. Appreciate all the love in the chat, everybody. I'm so thankful to be here. Like, it's an honor. People are like, what coffee y'all drinking?
I'm actually drinking tea, but yes, that's great. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So some of the top research tools that I recommend, and some of these we've already been using. We've already used Google Gemini and ChatGPT, and I'll show you their deep research that you can get into with those tools. So just for general research and writing purposes, Perplexity is another tool that I am a huge proponent of, and you can use all of these for free. And I'll go ahead and jump into that one as well. And then Notebook LM is something that I use probably on a regular basis, as well as my students as well. and it is through Google and it's free. You can go in. I showed you this during the video generation that you can go in and actually edit a video based on the different documents that you are uploading to this tool. So it's pretty outstanding. And then we'll get into a little bit more of the ones in the black. So those are going to be for really specific things. We have information retrieval, summarization, academic literature and discovery. And then, yeah, so there's quite a few of those, and it really just depends on what you want to do. There are some things that you need to keep in mind when you are using these tools, that these tools, when you're being able to upload different documents and things like that, when you're doing it through these platforms, they are able to see the information that you're putting on here. So if there are specific things that you have signed and need to be confidential in terms of research, then that is something that you should not be putting into these documents. You can, or excuse me, into these tools. You should not be putting the documents into these tools. So one thing that I would recommend doing, and this is, you know, down the line and more technical, but if this is something where you need to be using AI tools, which I highly do recommend, that you can be using specific tools, but you would be only using them specifically on your computer. And that's something that is more technical. We can talk more about that. But if you are accessing these through these specific websites, then people can see and others can see the information, especially through the company that you're using it through. So just
and I'll double click on that just so those know there's tons
Sure.
of innovation happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So for those, I totally get there's a privacy issue conundrum. The more you put into these tools, the more you're at risk. That is definitely fair. But what's happening is there's a lot of local language models, technologies that are being developed and rolled out. One of them that we'll talk a little bit about tomorrow is called the Web LLM. And this is going to change the game for a lot of folks. Because what this will let you do is cache the LLM locally in your browser. For those that don't know, it'll make it the same way when you go to a website and then you come back and the images load faster because it's already saved on your computer. We can cache the model locally. That means you could talk to the model on your computer without ever sending anything. So even if you turned your internet off, you'd still have large language model experience. There's a lot of progress to come, though. Like, you can't send large files today really well. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, but I'll share more tomorrow. But I do think for so many people that ask questions about ethics, like my protection of my data, shout out to the woman that was from CNN, Money and Business. She reached out to me on LinkedIn. Shout out to you. I really appreciate you reaching out and asking that question. But again, there's more technology. We'll be sharing more about it. Tools like Web LLM will let you do all the things you're doing, but locally. And that's the way forward.
Great. Thank you for adding that, Sam. I really appreciate that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump in to the first one. And this tool was actually introduced to me by one of my colleagues, Bobby Hodgkinson, and he is a professor at CU Boulder. And we all continuously use this tool. Also, Dr. Diane Sieber has showed me a lot of ways to use this tool as well. And so it's really great. So when you click on this link, it will obviously take you to a page. And I showed you all this several days ago, but you can create a new notebook here. Within Notebook LM, there are really nice things that you can do. So once you do create a new notebook, which I already have one open, you can then get into here. You can add your sources. So as I showed you, you can come in, you can add specific Google Docs, specific slides. You can come in and you can link a website. I've also come in and I have linked a podcast. I've linked videos. I've gone in and it doesn't necessarily, mess with specific things. If you have a podcast and a website and you have file documents, those can all go into your specific file. And so it is really nice that you can have all these multiple files that you can work with, and then you can get a summarization of all of these things. So you can upload all of these things here, and with the free version, you have up to, I believe, 50 files that you can upload. And then if you do have a pro version, which you can get in terms of an educator and a student as well. You can get it for free for their pro version, and that is for a year. So if you are working within education, you can get that tool. So once again, you can upload your sources here, and then you can also ask for a summarization. And so right here, it will also give you ideas of some prompts that you could use here. And then right here is adding a note. So if you like what this has done, you can save this to a note, and then you can even copy the summary. And with this save to a note, you can then come in here and you can share your notebook with others. So this can be a collaborative notebook that people can see. And then within here, you also have this really neat thing that's called an audio overview. And what this will do is, based on the summary that this gives you, or whatever information that you want to get from this specific document, you can turn it into a podcast. And so what you can do is, let me go back to the studio, and we have audio overview here, and we have video overview, which I showed you the other day. We have mind maps, reports, flashcards, quizzes. This is fantastic. And in terms of trying to study material, let's say that you have an entire book, but you have it in a digital format. You can upload specific chapters to this, and you can ask for summarization, and then you can come in and then you can generate your own little mind maps. And I'll show you this. So for instance, I have a mind map here, and this is based on the document that I put in. If you put in, like I said, 40 or 50 documents, then it's going to make a mind map based on all of those documents. So if you have websites, if you have podcasts, if you have audio files, it's going to create this. And this just gives you an idea of how to think differently and make things into a more organizational way for writing or for studying. So this is really nice that this generates this for you. And then it starts to break things down, future and advice. So if you are really stuck within writing or thinking in different ways, this is something that I would highly recommend, is generating a mind map. And then within this is really nice. So you can come in, and we have an audio. And so we have an audio overview. So a lot of people working within industry, if they need to read specific literature, or even students, if they need to go through specific data or different readings and they don't have time, they can listen to this and put it into a podcast and walk to school. They can do their chores around their house and just listen. Maybe you learn better by listening than you do by reading. So there's different tools that you can use. So I'm going to go ahead and I will show you this. So we'll go ahead and open this up. All right. So what you can do, this is the podcast. It can be in different languages as well, which is really nice. And then the other thing is, once this is loading, we'll go ahead and let me open this up. There's a really nice thing in here, and this is an interactive tool. So while the podcast is working, you can go ahead and you can
they can't hear it, Larissa. Remember, you got to share the individual tabs so they can hear it.
Yes, thank you. Let me go in and share that. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. All right. So here is the podcast, and then I'll go ahead and play the audio.
Yeah, it really is. It can feel like trying to navigate without a map.
Can you hear that?
Exactly. So our goal here, or mission in this deep dive, is to basically act as your guide, maybe like a personalized roadmap.
Hmm.
We want to help you shortcut that learning journey.
Right. And we're doing that by looking at something pretty unique. Whoa, did someone just break the fourth wall? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I have a question about how adults and professionals regarding their learning journey in AI and generative AI. Can you help me with some of that, please?
Absolutely. That's precisely what we're here for.
You're in the perfect place.
We understand that feeling of wanting to dive in.
And not knowing where to start.
And that's exactly why we're doing this episode.
We want to make it less overwhelming for you.
Right. And we're doing that by looking at something pretty unique,
Yeah, we've got this comprehensive set of dissertation interview questions.
which is great because they were
Okay, so as you can hear, and I apologize that you weren't able to hear this prior, but you are able to join into the podcast, which is pretty neat. And so you can ask specific questions. Obviously, the questions need to be in relation to the sources that you're uploading, but make sure that with the sources that you're uploading, all this information that you're asking them, that they're able to answer those questions. If they do not have the answer, it's just going to keep going in circles and circles and circles. So make sure that you have a chance to understand the material, reading through the summaries, and then once you're listening, answering questions that are pertaining to the information. So hopefully that is helpful. There's also a button that you can generate reports that are based on your different sources. You have specific flashcards that are based on your sources, and you can also set up a quiz. So this is really, really mind-changing in terms of working with these different tools, these different sources, and a lot of people really, really succeed within using these tools. I find this to be very, very, very valuable. One thing that I would recommend is making sure, of course, every single time that you are checking through your specific sources and making sure that this summary is correct. It is still giving you a summary, but once again, it can be inaccurate. Double check. I've gone through and I have started to ask for summarizations and specific questions within this tool. And when I do have a lot of sources and I'm referring to previous sources prior, this can get a little mixed up, and we'll start to answer questions from my previous sources. So make sure that all these sources are relevant, that you're putting into one notebook. So if you want to have a bunch of different topics and put them into one notebook, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I would recommend having specific notebooks for specific things. And you can create a ton of notebooks. And so you can come in and you can generate a brand new notebook and then do that for a specific task. So that's what I would highly recommend doing, just so it doesn't get confused as to the prior topics that you were talking about and now you're switching to a different topic. So making sure that all the sources are relevant to each other. Okay, so that is Notebook LM. Great tool. You can access this for free, and highly, highly recommend this in terms of research and all of the things that it can do. And it keeps everything into one notebook for you. And so, like I said, if you go back to the beginning, there are a bunch of different notebooks that you can come in, create your own notebook. And then you can also, and one thing that a lot of students will do is they'll put in their syllabus and they'll have it give a summarization of what their syllabi says for them if it's extremely long or they want some summarization. So it's very helpful in terms of that. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and go on to the next one. I'll share my screen, and we have, we're going to go ahead and talk about deep research. And within here, deep research, if we are in Chat GPT 4.0, which is free, you have a chance to come in here. And with this tool down here at the bottom, you can, this plus sign right here, if you scroll over that, you can go ahead and you can go into something that's called deep research. And within deep research, you have a chance to take a look at the different sources that this is pulling from, the different web search. So you can toggle this on and off. And then within here, it will give you a detailed report based on your specific prompt. And so for instance, what I did is hello, if you could please help me with finding out who's going to win the WNBA championship. And so what it did is it went through and we can do this live, but it does take a second. So right now it looks like the Minnesota Lynx are the favorites to take home the 2025 WNBA championship. If you're looking for the front runner, they seem to be the team. Right here is where you can see the sources where it's pulling from. So this is really, really nice. So you can see that this is where they're actually grabbing the sources, and you can take a look and ESPN, Sportsbook Review, and see the specific sources that they're pulling from. So great tool that it has in here, really, really nice. And then we can go ahead and let's see right now within sports who is going to win the, let's say, World Series this year. And we're just going to pull from our web search, toggle that. We are in deep research, and then we'll go ahead and send that in. And so it's going to take a little bit of time here to go ahead. Could you please clarify whether you're looking for expert predictions, current betting odds, or statistical predictions? Let's say expert predictions. And the more obviously detailed you are with the prompt, the better that you're going to get. So you're going to see that this is going to take some time to do because it is going through a lot of sources. So it will take some time. So we're going to go ahead and jump to another tab, and I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen here, and we'll go to another tab, and we are going to go ahead and talk about Perplexity. So for those of you that are not familiar with Perplexity, and I'm in Perplexity Pro, I'll also show you the free version as well. And so you can get this for free for, I believe, a month trial. And so you are able to come in here and use this tool. This is a really, really nice tool. For instance, you have this little, it looks like, I don't know, a patch of some sort, and you can choose specific models. So you can come in here and you can try different models. And this is within Perplexity Pro. So you can try Sonar, you can try Claude, you can try Claude Thinking, Gemini, you can try GPT and the different models there, and then Grok as well. You also have a chance to set your sources for your deep research. So if you want to come in and you only want to look for academic papers, social media, finance, or you want to search completely over the web, you can do that as well. I find this to be very, very intuitive for me because I want to look for specific sources. So within academic papers, so I'm just going to toggle that, and then I would take that off. So if there's specific things that you want to do, it does give you a chance to do that. If you are in here, you can come into the deep research that looks like this little icon here. And if you scroll over it, it will tell you exactly what it is as well. And so in here, the nice thing is it does give you some ideas of what you can search for or anything that you want to start researching. So plan a 3-month road trip across Europe on a 10K budget. Sure, I would love to do that. I mean, I'm not going to have time, but yes, sure, put it together for me. And so as you can tell, what it's doing is right here, it has keeping you updated with how long it's going to take you, and then the different resources that it's going through, and then it will start to give you a plan. And so I'm also going to show you in terms of using the free version of Perplexity. If you have not used the free version, I'll go ahead and show you the other one. And this is one that I also use, and it does have the deep research here with it. So you can still come in here and do the deep research. You can also come in and choose what type of different sources that you want to grab the data from. And then once again, we can say, what should I know before? Sure. What should I know before the markets open today? And now it's going to start to give me a report. And so we'll go ahead and we'll come back to this, and then we will go ahead and I'm going to share my entire screen because I'm not doing sound right now. Okay. and we'll come into here. So we have about a minute left of this. We'll jump over, and you can see the sources are still working for, ChatGPT as well. So it does take some time. So just be aware of the research because it's going through so many sources. So deep research obviously is taking a deeper dive, and I sound like AI right now, into these materials. And then once again, so I'm going to switch over to Gemini, and you can access Gemini for free as well. So 2.5 Flash is what I'm using. And within here, you can go to the tools. So if you scroll over this, it says tools, and you can come in here and you can choose their deep research as well. So you can come in here and you can add any prompt that you want. So for instance, if I want to say, can you please let me know the exact dates to see the leaves changing in Colorado. And we'll see what it does within the deep research. We'll go back here, and right now this is done. So we'll take a look at this. So here are the specific sources that it gives us right here. I'm in Perplexity. And so you can see that these are all the different sources. There are 76 sources that it went through to find the answer for you. And so then within here, you can look to see what it gives you. It's planning a 3-month road trip for you on a 10K budget. It's actually giving you a diagram here, which is fantastic, telling you exactly the specific percentage and cost of this road trip budget. And then also it's giving you a breakdown so you can see all of the information within here. And I'll tell you what, I do not like to plan trips. So if something or someone can plan it for me, amazing. Please do it for me. That just makes my life so much easier. So once again, and you're not going through a travel agency, you're literally doing it yourself. So that is something that is really, really helpful. You can come in here and you can look at the different assets that it's generated for you. You can look at the specific steps that it's gone through, the different images that it's given to you. And these are the different ideas and then the specific sources. So once again, one other nice thing that I want you to notice is that when you are going through here, you can see at the end, you have the different sources that are here at the end. So you can scroll over those and you can actually click on them and it will take you to the specific source where it grabbed it from. So that is really, really helpful in terms of finding out, okay, I see here that you went through this and I see the specific sources. Awesome. Fantastic. Now I can know exactly where you pulled it from, and then I can continue my search. If you're not getting the information that you want, you can keep, like it says, ask a follow-up. So continue to go through these sources, and it's really, really helpful in terms of that. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back to Google Gemini here. And once again, we have, it's giving us an idea, analyze the report. We can start the research, and then we'll go ahead and we'll come back into ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is still working on their sources. So we'll go ahead and we'll go into our other one in Perplexity. And this one is the free one. And you can still see same idea. This one went through 56 sources. We have the research and we have the specific steps. You have everything that is linked here. Once again, as I stated, and you can see all the information, asked for a follow-up. Super, super helpful in terms of going through deep research. And then a couple other things. So I'm going to go ahead, and while this is still working, Gemini is going through and it's researching 18 websites right now. And I'm going to go ahead and just talk about a couple other ones while we are on and waiting for this these tools to continue their deep research. Once again, it is not going to be the quickest. Perplexity I find to be pretty quick in terms of going through the different resources, but Gemini and ChatGPT do take a little bit longer. Not saying that that's bad for any instance, but it is a little bit of a longer process. So on here, for people that are really, really interested in going in a deeper dive into these tools, on here we have Cite, which is an information retrieval and summarization tool. We have Scholarcy, same thing, Semantic Scholar. Alyssa is really good for literature reviews and summaries, and probably one of, I would say, the best tools for going deeper into academic literature and discovery. The same with Research Rabbit. We have connected papers and lit maps as well. So go ahead. I'm not going to have time to go through all of these because I want you to see the other tools. But if you want to go in and you want to do more of a deeper dive into academic literature or information retrieval and summarization, these are specific tools that I would recommend using as well. And there are free tiers that you can use this. And then if you want to get into this deeper, then obviously you can pay for a subscription for these. But this is some of the top tools that I have used. I highly recommend Alyssa and Research Rabbit for academic literature and discovery. And like I said, Cite and Scholarcy are great as well. And so we'll go ahead and we will go back to our ChatGPT, and right now it's given us the expert predictions for the 2025 MLB World Series. So right here you can see that these are linked here as well. You can come in here and excuse me, it tells us that there's 16 sources, 9 searches. It tells us how long it took us, and then you can take a look and see what they've come up with. So pretty neat in terms of the different research that you can do and the deep research that you can jump in and see what it's given us. Oh, I like this. Chicago Cubs. Okay. Great. So you can go down. This is a lot of information, And here are your sources at the bottom too. So if you want to click on those, once again, just kind of like I showed you with the WNBA predictions, same thing. It pulls the citations up, and then you can also access them here within the actual literature. When we go back to Google Gemini, now we have the sources here, completed the search. Feel free to ask any follow-up questions. So if you do want to come in here, you can take a look at what do you want to research, and then you can come in here and you can ask specific questions. So right here, it has the art and science of fall foliage in Colorado, an expert's guide to finding peak color. Gives us a summary, and it is going to give us a lot of information here when it is talking about this. You can export this to sheets, which is super helpful. So if you want something to put into a specific spreadsheet, you can go ahead and export that, which is really nice. So you can have this information. You can come in here if you want to learn more. You can come in and take a look at the different resources that they give us here. And then even once again, we have another way. So right here, Southern Colorado's Hidden Gems, export to sheets. So it also does a really fantastic job of putting everything into something more concise for you, because you're like, okay, this is so much information. This is completely overwhelming. Can you add this into some sort of spreadsheet for me? Yes, boom, done. And then once again, the other thing is here, all of the sources are linked here. So you can take a look in the different sources. And then you can also take a look. These are sources read but not used in the report. So that's really interesting. And then any specific thoughts that you can think about. So the initial research plan, and then understanding the research goal. And then also, once again, you have these specific things and thoughts that they can recommend for you as well. Great tools. I can highly recommend, and using this for deep research, doing, like I said, deep dives into these tools. Notebook LM is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And Perplexity, if you haven't used it, try it. It's an awesome tool, and you can use it for free. You can use a deep research part for free. Take a look at it. Look at the specific resources. If you're someone that wants to go really deep into research, look at those tools. And then, like I said, I have listed the academic ones and the literature reviews and information retrieval and things like that. So try them out. So once let me go through your task real quick. And
And why? So you're pulling that. Somebody just said this was their favorite day so far. Shout out Jeremiah. How do y'all feel? Is this your favorite day? Was this as good as video? Let us know.
That's awesome. Thanks. Great to hear. All right. So for your task for this day, what we're going to do is research. You are going to research. So go in and use any of those tools to research anything. If you want to do what I did, go for it. Do an MLB prediction, do anything that you want, and maybe market trends, weather, anything that you can think of that you want to do a deep research on. Maybe you want to upload your sources into Notebook LM and then generate a podcast, and you can download that podcast to be uploaded. You can also generate a video like I showed you before on Tuesday. There's video generation in there. Generate a video based on the sources. Go in and do a summarization, create a mind map. There's so many things that you can do within these tools that I've shared with you for free. So take a look and go through and just have fun with it. And what I would love you to do is discuss in the forum what you researched, what tool you used, what you liked, and what you didn't like about it. So are there things that you could improve with the tool? What is it lacking? What is it missing? What did you really like and find helpful? Do you want to take a trip to Europe? I do. So what can it help you with in planning? Maybe you want to go on a trip over the holidays, and it can help you with all of that research. And then go ahead and submit your text prompts for the certification. And so congrats, you've completed day 4. So once again, make sure that submitting your assignments, you're going through submitting your assignments. A lot of people are sharing the assignments with me, and that's really difficult when we have such a large crowd. So if you can actually please go in and submit your assignments through the Google form, that will be much, much easier for us to manage and keep track of everybody's assignments. And then once again, if you are having any issues, reach out to us, reach out to me, and we will get the answers to you. You have until Monday, next Monday, to turn everything in. So if you do not have the time to do it today, make sure that you get everything in by Monday. Okay? Watch the recording. So once again, the recording is in session recordings. So go through, if you were not able to make it, or you know someone that wasn't able to make it to any of the previous recordings or even today's recording, please let them know and make sure that you also know that these recordings are in this Gen AI Academy. Okay, once again, recordings are also on YouTube. Here's your QR code. And then subscribe to watch the session. And then tomorrow, and Sam, I'll let you jump in here in just a sec, we are going to be talking about human-centered AI. So we'll talk about ethics, and then we will also talk about vibe coding. So go ahead, Sam, if you want to jump in.
Yeah, this is the most premier opportunity of our lifetimes. Again, we all might not be coders, but we all have things that we're specialists in. If you're a mom, if you're a carpenter, if you're someone that works in manufacturing, there are so many professions that really what we're walking into is the opportunity to be in for the first time, the age of personalized applications. So what I'm going to be teaching on Friday is a real intro level, doesn't matter if you have any background, first level introduction to this concept called vibe coding. So if you know what coding is and you know what vibes are, you might be halfway there. I think so, but for those that don't know, vibe coding essentially is a way to do development, so build applications. But traditional development is completely different. Traditional development is deterministic. You have a target you're trying to get to, and you're trying to bend the code, the systems, the tools to your will to get to that destination. It's all about how much am I delivering on what I aim to set out to do. Vibe coding is the exact opposite. You're essentially riding the vibes to see where you're going to land in a general area. And so that's such a powerful way to code and develop, because if you don't feel the vibes, meaning if something's broken, doesn't work, just undo it and go back and try something different. If something's really having a good time, and it's iterating, it's doing really well, keep going. So the key word here is vibes. So tomorrow's going to be all about the vibes. It's Friday. We're giving away free licenses. We'll be talking about in more detail the mini workshops we'll be doing for the next 2 months. And then we might even announce a course coming up next. I mean, you do not want to miss tomorrow. No matter where you are, if you haven't seen the last sections, you're watching this on recording, you want to be live tomorrow. So everybody fired up for tomorrow's sessions?
Yes.
Friday vibes. We might have to make that the next shirt. Friday vibes.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. All right. And then also, like I said, QR code if you need to connect with me, that is on the slide deck. And then and then also at the very beginning of the slide deck is also my email and information too. And there's also information that you can connect with anyone from Gen AI as well through their platform. All right. Should we do a couple questions?
Yeah,
we got about 5 minutes.
Vibes. There we go. Questions. Let's bring them on in.
See you tomorrow. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? We got about 5 minutes.
Wow. Bill says this is the best 4 hours he's spent in years. Shout out to Bill.
Bill. That just made my day. Thank you, Bill.
Shout out to Greg too. You know,
I like your vibe, Sam.
I think it's Mr. or Mrs. Week mentioned does the environmental impact. There's a whole lot of conversations we need to have there because everything about the AI revolution environmentally has some challenges, just be honest. But we can't unpack that all today. So definitely stick around. And so many people mentioned they want an ethics course. So we'll post some options tomorrow, let people kind of decide. And if you're interested in an ethics course, we could definitely throw that in there, talk a little bit about the environmental impact and things we can do as consumers to at least try to do the best we can.
One thing people were asking about an extension for their homework. And so I would say probably a couple days. So I would say Wednesday we can give you if that works for people. So if you can get your stuff in by Wednesday, we'll give you 2 extra days there. So Wednesday will be the last day to submit everything. So hopefully that will help.
Yeah, and the resources will be accessible going forward. So we're not going to take anything down. You'll be able to always go back to the Academy and access some of those resources.
Someone was also asking when they get the information from the deep research tools, how do they extract it? And so number one, you can actually, let's see if I can go in here and share my screen real quick. I guess it depends on which tool you're using, but if you go in, there should be a little thing at the bottom where you can actually copy the response, and it looks like 2 pages that are over each other, or you can actually highlight it and copy and paste it into a document if you would like to do that. You can also export it like I showed you in Gemini. There's different ways that it offered you to export it into sheets. So you can do that as well. So there's a way that you can copy it inside of the actual tool. And then you can also do that within Notebook LM. And then you can also save it as a note. I showed you how to save things as a note in Notebook LM. So if you are having trouble with any of that or getting the information, we can talk about that more tomorrow, but let me know if there's any issues. And yeah, hopefully we can go from there. And I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we are out of time. So many good questions we didn't get to answer. So thank you, everybody, though. Just maybe one point, the tools, like as far as the resources, everything that you see in the Academy will be available. Free credits, that is the temporary thing. So you have to join the sessions, and then we will be closing those after a time period. But everything else, like all the links, all the recordings, everything is in the Academy, and you'll have that indefinitely.
Great. All right, let me stop sharing here. And thank you all so much. Day 4. We got 1 more to go. You all are troopers. This is amazing and so thankful to have you and really, really excited to see what you are going to research today. And yeah, please turn that in. Excited. We'll share some of the topics tomorrow. And otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we will put deck 3 and 4 on the drive. So you'll have deck 3 and 4 together. So thanks, everybody. See y'all soon.
See ya.